Hey guys, what's up? It's Lainey and today I am so excited to share with you guys Smutathon round 2. If you don't know, I really love to read romance. I love reading smut. Over the summer, myself and one of my best friends here on BookTube, Riley from Riley Marie, we decided to host a week-long romance readathon called Smutathon, where you just read a lot of smut all week. We really didn't expect a lot of people to participate because of the subject matter, but we were so overwhelmed and so surprised by how many people wanted to participate with us. Towards the end of the first round, we were like, we're probably going to be doing another one before the year is over. So here we are, the announcement video for round 2, December 10th through the 16th. So December 10th at midnight, wherever you live, and it's going to end on December 16th at 11:59 p.m. wherever you live. We use the hashtag Smutathon on both Twitter and on Instagram to connect with each other, and we have a lot of fun things planned for this week. So Riley and I decided to do all new, mostly, tropes for the challenges. Last round we had 7 tropey challenges that we try to knock off throughout the week, and we decided to come up with new ones as well as to create a poll for the 7th one that we want you guys to help us decide which should be the 7th trope of the week. But I also want to announce that on December 13th, which is about halfway through the week, we are hosting a Smutathon chat, and that's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're basically just going to, for an hour, kind of just chat about Smutathon, about different romance, different kind of questions, romance books questions and recommendations, and you can just follow both Riley and I on Twitter to kind of keep up with that. But I'm really excited for that. It's a way for all of us to kind of bring each other together, I guess, during the readathon and just kind of check in with each other, see how we're doing, what are our favorite books so far we read, what are not so great books we've read so far. I should also point out that smut equals pretty much adult romance. So anything with a sex scene is going to be considered smut. We wanted to really make sure we said that this round because YA is not smut. So this is really just like an adult romance readathon. So with that said, let's get into some of the tropes. A lot of these books that I've chosen for my TBR can also be fit into other tropes, but these are the ones that I decided to use the trope for just because there's a lot of TBR that I have for this round. I picked 2 options for my TBR as well as a recommendation I'm going to give you guys. So here we go. The first trope is going to be slow burn. This is one of my favorite tropes. I don't know why we forgot to include this one last round. The 2 that I have for my slow burn TBR is, the first one's gonna be Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I read Penelope Douglas. I generally like her books. So basically this girl moves in with her boyfriend's family and she starts to have feelings for her boyfriend's dad. So excited for that one to see how it turns out. The other TBR book that I have for slow burn is going to be The Chase by Elle Kennedy. I'm guessing that this one is slow burn, and if you've read this one, please let me know if I'm right or wrong. This is like a spin-off series to her other quartet, the hockey one that I really loved generally. Elle Kennedy is also one of my favorite romance authors, and this one features a couple that in the original 4 books I was like, there's something there between them. So I'm really happy that this book, the spin-off, features that couple. And then for my recommendation, if you are looking for a book for slow burn that you're not quite sure what to do, the one that I'm recommending is going to be my favorite romance series of all time, and that is going to be Killing Sarai by J.A. Ramersky. There's smut in it, there's murder in it, there's assassins, and it's just really good. The whole series is my favorite series, and it's a continuous plot line even though it features different characters, and it's just like, it feels like a TV show. That's what I feel like. It just feels like a TV show when I'm reading it. So this is the one I'm going to recommend to you. The second trope that we have for Smutathon round 2 is going to be forbidden romance. So this is like your Romeo and Juliet's, your star-crossed lovers, people that shouldn't be together even though they are. I have Priest by Sierra Simone. I've wanted to read it for a really long time. You can probably guess what it's about based on the title. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm like super obsessed with The Borgias right now, which is on Netflix. My ride or die on that show is Cesare Borgia, and he is a cardinal, and there's a lot of things going on. And so like now I kind of want to read a romance that involves clergy person. The other book on my TBR for this trope is The Controversial Princess by Jodi Ellen Melpis. I read The Protector a couple years ago when it came out. I liked it. I thought I'd give this one a try. This one also features kind of like a princess. It's a reimagined England, so a princess, that's the Princess of England, and this Hollywood actor. So forbidden because they're not supposed to be together. I thought maybe I should give that one a try too. My recommendation for forbidden romances are going to be dark romance. Sorry if that's not your cup of tea. It's really my cup of tea. I'm recommending this like duology. I don't know if they're like continuing it on. It seems like they might be continuing it on. It's the Prisoner and Captive series by Skye Warren and Aniko Martin. And the first one has to do with a prison break, that kind of thing. I talked about that one in my romance recommendations video that I did earlier this year. And then I finally read the second book this past week, and I also really love that one too. It features another guy that's part of this criminal group and then a new girl, and they're not supposed to be together at all. So I recommend both those books. I really liked both those books. So if you like a little bit of a darker romance, definitely check those out. The third trope is going to be enemies to lovers, and I have The Hate to Love You by Alicia Ray as one of my TBRs. I've been wanting to read it, and Riley really recommends it to me, so I have that one, as well as Seven of Swords by J.J. Knight. And then the book that I'm recommending for enemies to lovers is going to be A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. This is a fantasy adult romance, so if you're looking for a little bit of fantasy for your TBR, I definitely recommend this one. It has to do with like a fantasy world, but there's Greek gods involved in it, and the two main characters like just hate each other, and they're forced to be together, and they're traveling. It's a journey story, has all of my favorite things in the book, so I would really recommend this. The tension's just really good. The fourth trope that we have is friends with benefits, and this one I'm really excited for, though it was really hard to try to find books that were friends with benefits. I don't think I read a lot of them, but the first one I have is Beautiful Player by Christina Lauren. This one is like the fifth book in that long-running series, but I guess you can read it as a standalone. Also, Christina Lauren, to me, is a sure thing, so you know, if I'm halfway through the week and I'm like, I don't know what to read, I can read a Christina Lauren book. The other one I have is Wrong to Need You, which is the second book in the Alicia Ray series. Riley also recommended this one to me to put on my TBR for Friends with Benefits. She said it's really good. The one that I'm recommending is going to be The Score by Elle Kennedy. This is the third book in that hockey series that I just mentioned earlier. I think you could read them as a standalone. I read them all in order. I really didn't like the second book, so I really think you'd go 1, 3, 4 if you want. Also, the second book in the Christina Lauren's Wild Season series, Dirty Rowdy Thing, that one's also a Friends with Benefits, and I really liked that one too. The fifth trope is going to be fake relationship. This is one of the tropes from last round. It's just a really good trope to have, and this one we kind of changed to just like fake relationship as a whole. That can be fake dating, fake marriage, anything kind of under that umbrella term of fake relationship. The first book that I have on my TBR is Faking It by Cora Cormack. I read Losing It, or I listened to Losing It a few months ago, and you know, it's pretty good. I liked it. I know it was like super big when I first started BookTube, that series was, but Faking It sounds really good. Obviously about a fake relationship turned relationship, obviously. Also put Roomie Wars by Kat T. Mason on there. I saw that on a list. I thought it sounded interesting. Kind of has to do with roommates, and I really like roommate kind of setups. And then I'm actually recommending Roomies by Christina Lauren for this trope. I read this one for Smutathon last round, and it was my favorite book I read of Smutathon. I also really loved it because I really related to the main characters, because she's a mess that has an English degree and she doesn't know what she wants to do. I felt really relatable to that, even though I do know what I want to do. I'm not currently doing it. I felt seen in that book pretty much, but I also really loved the romance. It was really cute. The final official trope is going to be different worlds. So this is a trope where the characters are from different worlds. I feel like a lot of romances I read, that's a piece of dialogue, is definitely going to be, but we're from different worlds. We're too different. So different worlds pretty much just means like, you know, criminals and civilians, or like royalty, celebrity with civilians, anything like that. Rich, poor tends to be in different worlds too. The first book I have is A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. I've been wanting to read this book for such a long time. It was tentatively on my TBR last round. I just didn't have time to get to it. The other one I have on my list is Attraction by Penny Reed. I kind of forget what this one's about, to be honest, but when I wrote it down last night, I must have meant to put it there. And then the book I'm recommending is like high-key one of my favorite romances of all time. And that's going to be Transcendence by Shay Savage. And listen, hear me out. It's a caveman romance, but it's told solely in his point of view. There's no to very, very little dialogue because he doesn't understand language. And this girl from the modern world, we know she time travels back in time, but he doesn't really know what's going on. And it's like a whole book on kind of the relationship. There's no real plot to it. It's very, very character driven, but it's so good. If you take any book away from me recommending for this readathon, it's gonna be this one. Case in point, like I told my friend Kayla to read this book and she was so hesitant to read it. Like when I was explaining it to her, she's like, what? You know, caveman, whatever. And then she started reading it and I get a text from her being like, yeah, I get it now. Like you don't get it until you're reading it. So I'm recommending this one for different worlds. And then we're up to the final trope, which is gonna be up to you guys. I'm linking the poll down below. You guys can click on it and vote for the trope that you want to have. And the trope that you're voting for is either road trip romance, office romance, and one night stand. So those are the three options that you have that you can pick on. We'll be announcing on Twitter the winner of the poll probably on December 7th, right before it starts, so you can get your TBR ready for the winning trope. For me, if road trip wins, I'm gonna read The Edge of Never by J.A. Romersky. I've never read this book. I know it's a road trip. It's been highly recommended to me too. If workplace romance wins, I'm going to read Hating You, Dating You by Christina Lauren, also because it's a sure thing. And then the last one I have is One Night Stand, and I'm wanting to read Escort by Skye Warren. I don't know if this one really fits the trope, but I really, really want to read that book because I haven't read that book of hers that she released this year. So I want to read it really soon. So I'm thinking that could probably fit under One Night Stand. It has to do with a male escort. That's it for my TBR, the announcement, and my recommendations for Smutathon. If you guys are joining in, please let me know down below. We love a good smut. Also tag me, tag Riley, tag us, hashtag it with your TBRs, either on Twitter or on Instagram, on YouTube. Let me know. I really want to watch it. I got so many good recommendations last round. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Lainey. I make videos on books and writing, so if that interests you, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!